Chiefs Kingdom, welcome back to All Chiefs Up. We're back with another podcast for that ass. And today, Steve, we have learned Isiah Pacheco has been ruled out versus the Bills. This is horrible news. Let's talk about it.
Before we get the show started, thanks for watching. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. We're trying to get to 20K subscribers before the end of the season. So do us a favor and hit that if you haven't already. Mike, Pacheco out versus the Bills, along with Brian Cook, Drue Tranquill, Donovan Smith. Those are some big names, some big pieces going to be out in a very, very pivotal game of the season for the Chiefs.
Yeah, this is not the news we wanted to hear. We knew he was battling a shoulder injury. He suffered, I guess, the other day versus the Packers. Matt Derrick actually come out and said, per Matt Derrick, ChiefsDigest.com, Pacheco's dealing with a shoulder bruise that will sideline him for at least one game. In Pacheco's looming absence, Pete Sweeney of ArrowheadPride.com relays that Clyde...
Who?
Pete Sweeney relays that Clyde Edwards-Helaire is next in line for the backfield work in Week 14, with Jerick McKinnon also coming back to handle the third down row. It's good to see Jerick McKinnon back. That's great news. Steve, Chiefs Kingdom not sold on Clyde Edwards-Helaire. He's been the old whipping post here for a little while. What do you think they're going to do with the Clyde Edwards-Helaire news?
Well, it's going to be full-on freak out for at least 24 hours. But the fact of the matter is, man, Pacheco being out, it doesn't matter who's replacing him. That's a huge loss. Pacheco's been the spark to our offense all season. He's the guy with all the energy. He's a big ball of energy. We have no one else that brings it like that. So it is a big loss. But I will tell you this, man. Clyde Edwards-Helaire has been running hard in his few reps he's had lately. Let's hope that translates. Plus, it's also an opportunity for Clyde to get some more game film out there for teams that might want to sign him after this season, because we all know that his contract's up and he's not going to be back as a Chief. So maybe he'll get out there and play hard. Drue Tranquill not being there is a huge loss, but we are getting Nick Bolton back, so that softens that blow. He hasn't played in a while, but I still like the idea that Nick Bolton's going to be there instead of Jack Cochran. And then, of course, Brian Cook, that's a big loss too. We'll just have to hope Jamari Conner can step up. And Donovan Smith on the left side, Mike. Are you really worried about him being gone at all? Because to me, I don't feel any different with Wanye starting at left tackle or Donovan Smith.
Well, first, I'll address Pacheco. I'm not too concerned with Clyde like everybody else. He has been running hard. Clyde, he looks okay. The last time he played the Bills, he kind of tore him up a little bit. I remember there was a game last year before, he ran all over him. I think it's all about how we run the ball, sticking to it, putting them in the right situations. Again, not to mention, along with McKinnon, you're also probably going to call up Prince, maybe P. Ryan, a little PP on the PP. We've knocked out one of the Ps. Pacheco out. Okay, so we're a little P on the P, not a little PP. But Donovan Smith, Wanye's filled in pretty admirably for him, in the limited snaps he's taken. The run game looks better with Wanye, to be honest. I don't think much of the things we see with the pass rush, that was almost Patrick Mahomes causing that, getting too deep in the pocket, holding the ball too long. I don't think Wanye is going to be that much of a problem. By the way, though, he's going to get matched up against Von Miller. I have no clue how Von Miller's being able to play. I have no clue what the coach is doing right now, comparing people to terrorists. The Bills organization is in complete shambles right now, but that means they're playing desperate. They're playing crazy. They always play us well. This is going to be a tough game front to back, but you mentioned Nick Bolton could be back this week. You kind of you alluded to that bad boy. The Chiefs are excited about a potential Bolton return. They actually going to say this is classic good news, bad news scenario. Tranquill missed practice on Wednesday, but it does look like Spagnuolo and everyone is happy. Bolton could be back. I honestly thought that they may not bring him back this early. You don't want to re-injure something here. You kind of want to lead him back in. And then not to mention, he's got to be out of game shape a little bit. So how much do you actually see him playing this week?
I think he'll definitely be on some sort of a snap count. I don't know if you'll see full-on Nick Bolton like you normally do, because they could possibly, I'm just saying possibly, could be rushing him back a little bit too soon because Drue Tranquill's out. So they might take it easy on Bolton. But who knows, man? I have no idea where he's at as far as his health goes. He could be 100% ready to go, man. So we'll see how it looks. But it is a little bit, it softens the blow a little bit of not having Drue Tranquill. I will say that. And then, of course, like I said with Wanye, I don't feel any differently about him being there as opposed to Donovan Smith. So to me, the big thing is Clyde Edwards-Helaire starting instead of Isiah Pacheco. It just really sucks that the spark of our offense all season long is not going to be on the field. And like I said, a very, very pivotal game. It's got a lot of playoff implications. The Chiefs are going to need to win this if they want the 1 seed. The Bills need to win this if they want in the playoffs.
Right. We've said that we're almost a defensive team now that relies on the run. And now you're taking off a big chunk of the run game. Will this force Andy and the offense to take a different approach here? And maybe this could be a blessing in disguise and get the offense kind of clicking on the right track? Or do you think this is just this is horrible news, do you think?
Personally, I feel like it's bad news. I think it's really bad to not have Isiah Pacheco on the field in this type of a game. But the thing about it is the offense has not looked good all year. And we know they've been trying to rely on the run lately in the last couple of weeks. And it's been working pretty decent, and now you take out the big piece of that. But maybe, just maybe, like you were saying, switching it up a little bit, maybe that'll be a good thing for this offense. Maybe they can figure something else out along the way. I mean, we're at a part of the year where they need to be clicking on all cylinders, and we're not even close to that as far as the offense goes. So move your pieces around, do what you got to do. You never know, something might fall into place for you.
Right. The offense has been going through slumps for years and years and years. We went through slumps. We've had bad offensive weeks. We've had losing streaks. You can go all the way back to 2019, Super Bowl years. It doesn't matter. We've had these. Do you think that maybe this is the slump we're going through, and the fact that Clyde can get involved, maybe McKinnon's back healthy? I think McKinnon's been an integral part of why this offense has kind of looked stagnant and sucked.
Yes.
Because McKinnon's not been into play.
Right. I don't know if that's because of lingering injury or something like that, but they have not used Jerick McKinnon the way they have in the past couple of years. And for that matter, they haven't been really using the screen game as much as they should be. Yes, they have been throwing some screens out to Rashee Rice, a couple out to Sky Moore. You've seen them get Pacheco involved as well, but it's not been as heavily implemented as it has in years past. I mean, even last year when Jerick McKinnon went on that 8-game streak with a touchdown in every one, those plays were big chunk plays that really helped this offense out and got them sparked, and you're just not seeing it this year.
Right. What do you think Clyde's going to do on the day? You got any predictions?
If I had to guess, Clyde's probably going to get about 12 carries. I bet you they don't go to the run as much as they do with Pacheco in there. So I'd say about 12 carries for Clyde. I'm going to put him around 60 yards. I'll say he'll run about 5 per, and that's only because I think he'll at least bust off one for 15, 20 yards, something like that, to heighten that average up. As far as touchdowns goes, I don't know if Clyde gets in the end zone, but he very well could. But I'm leaning more towards that Jerick McKinnon pass attack coming back into play a little bit here. They're going to put him in on third downs, and maybe they can get, leak him out and maybe score a touchdown that way.
Right. I think they're not going to give him very many carries. I think they'll go back to pass happy. That's what Andy Reid likes to do anyway. I think they'll implement more of a short passing game, which could help the wide receivers, could get Sky in the right spot, could maybe feature Kadarius Toney a little bit more this week. I think he'll get around 8 carries, somewhere around 30 to 40 yards in that 10-yard range. He may sneak in the end zone. They may give him one on the goal line, maybe a delay, maybe a little screen pass, something like that. But I don't think it's going to be a huge day for Clyde Edwards-Helaire. If it is, congrats, Clyde. You deserve it after all the trash talking.
There is one thing I would like to see them do that they've done a little bit this year. I wouldn't mind seeing Kadarius Toney get some carries in this game coming up. Something just to switch it up. And when Sky Moore was a rookie, they were actually using him in the backfield and training camp and things like that. So I don't know, man. Maybe they can switch it up a little bit, throw some different looks at Buffalo, confuse them a little bit. Like you said, they've been a bit of a dumpster fire, so maybe the Chiefs can catch them off guard and get some cheap points.
Is this the week we see Prince get some carries?
Quite possibly, but I doubt it'd be very many. You might see him in there for a couple snaps, but I wouldn't bank on it.
Right. I don't even know if he's activated for the game just yet.
Right,
we don't even know if P. Ryan would be activated for the game.
Right.
I would like to see one of those two maybe get a few carries, get involved a little bit, see what you got there at least. We're getting to that time of the season where, like we said, this is why you went out and you signed some running back help with Keontae Ingram. This is why you did that. Pacheco runs like a raging bull. You never know when he's going to injure himself, whatever it is. He basically carried the entire Packers defense last week for about 30 yards. So at some point, that body's going to start taking some hits. It's getting late in the season. I'm glad to see him do it.
Yeah, for sure, man. It'll be an exciting game against Buffalo. Like I said, a lot of implications with this as far as playoff seeding, as far as Buffalo even getting into the playoffs. So I'll be excited to see how this plays out. The Chiefs look like they're at slight disadvantage right now, but they are playing at home. and they have Patrick Mahomes. They have Travis Kelce, who is due a good game. So I think the Chiefs are in a good spot still, even with the bad news of Pacheco being out. Nick Bolton coming back, I'll take that as a win.
If you want to hear more about this game, we're going to give some predictions. We're going to do some more insights over on Patreon, patreon.com/allchiefedup. Get over there. It's only $10 a month. Be sure to like this video. Hit that sub button if you haven't already. And we'll catch you guys on the next one. Go Chiefs.
There goes a sight from my soul.